Los Angeles stretches across a vast basin along the Pacific, covering more than 450 square miles. It stands as the commercial, financial, and cultural heart of Southern California, home to nearly 10 million residents and a destination for millions more each year. But with that energy comes responsibility. This region faces real challenges, from earthquakes to managing crowded freeways, closures, and unexpected incidents. So how does a city this dynamic keep everyone safe? The answer lies within Los Angeles itself, a central hub of information and services working around the clock to keep people connected, informed, and prepared. Whether you call it home or you're just passing through, we're glad you're here. Welcome to Los Angeles. High above the streets, Los Angeles tells part of its story in the skyline. The city holds the highest concentration of helicopters of any U.S. city, a legacy of earlier building codes that required emergency landing access for structures over 75 feet. While that rule has since changed, nearly 100 helipads still remain woven into the downtown landscape. But responding to incidents here takes more than helicopters, police cruisers, and fire engines. It depends on something less visible: communication. Critical information must move quickly, reaching millions of people when it matters most. In a city as diverse as Los Angeles, where more than 220 languages are spoken, a vast network of radio towers forms the backbone of that effort. From police coordination to public alerts and everyday community updates, these towers keep the city connected and running. Today, we're heading up, joining the information technology team for a closer look at how they maintain the systems that keep Los Angeles in sync.
There is a big network of communications that most of us don't realize. We usually ignore a radio tower. Radio towers provide radio communications. If you've ever seen a police officer or firefighter, they're carrying a radio on their body and they have radios in their vehicles. The radio communications is how police and fire do their job. We have 33 different radio sites with 31 radio towers, and these are critical. 911 dispatch utilizes radio communications to ensure that vehicles, officers, firefighters, other agencies can all interact with each other during an emergency.
Pressure is really high, always, 24/7. The radio that they use is their lifeline. It's a matter of life and death. So it's very critical that we maintain it and it's working all the time.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so today we're going to go ahead and change the bulbs at the top of the beacon. That will fall to Mike and Roberto.
While we're going up, we're also going to be IDing some cables that might need weatherproofing.
So if you look at these bulbs, they're a special type of bulbs because they're a little extra large.
One of the things I'm most proud of, we have not had an incident since I've been here. Everybody goes home at night, communications keep working, and goals are met.
So right here, it's okay because it's a ladder. With the ladder, you have your safety guide wire. This piece attaches to that, so you're safe going straight up the ladder. Once you get to the very top where we're going to be, it's a monopole. So after you get off the ladder, you won't be able to use this no more. So you're going to be using a positioning lanyard. Let's go.
Safety would be the primary thing on my mind. One foot in front of the other, one hand in front of the other, ensuring that I make it home safe. I would say 4 to 6 hours if it's just a bulb that needs to be replaced. This one probably takes a little longer just because it's the biggest tower that we have here at the city.
Oh, it's bad.
The connector?
Yeah.
Hey, Steve-O.
Yeah, go ahead.
The connector on the LAPD-TX completely exposed.
You want weatherproofing first?
Yeah, weatherproofing first.
We are weatherproofing some of these antennas over here.
Okay, roger that.
So what causes the equipment on the towers to malfunction can be weather, moisture, high winds, simply the age of the antennas or the connectors. So the ongoing maintenance of radio towers, it is an ongoing job.
Yeah.
Last stop will be the beacon bulbs. Up at the very top. Your crucial flybys from LAPD. Need to know that there's a tower right underneath them. Awesome views. It's a view that only tower climbers would see. Mount Lee's pretty awesome, right? Because it's kind of like dead center for the city communications and operations. Every city entity comes through Mount Lee.
Continue to hold the frequency.
All units on all frequencies, stand by.
Engine 48 for Metro.
All the journey of help. 31016.
Need for what reason? Let's coordinate our effort. Go for 16. All resources, hold the channel.
All units on all frequencies, clear.
What we do is important. It keeps fire and PD moving all the time.
All right, that's it.
This location is one of a kind. What else can we say?
It's iconic because you got the Hollywood sign down below. You see it in movies all the time. They span out and you see the tower, and people never really question what goes on that tower.
Suspect is in custody. All right, roger that. Great job, guys.
Today we're celebrating Matthew Nolan, who was named Firefighter of the Year for 2025, an incredible leader within our organization. Today's celebration is about an individual who's done it over a career. Matt is a humble leader and instrumental in the development of the culture within the Los Angeles Fire Department.
I'm just humbled to be Firefighter of the Year. I'm still trying to get my head around it. I joke with some of the people, I think this is all a big mistake and we'll all figure this out in a few minutes. But I started as a firefighter in North Hollywood, and that's actually the neighborhood I grew up in. I spent most of my career working as a firefighter, an apparatus operator, and a captain for almost 20 years at Fire Station 60.
He promoted through the ranks, and now he's assigned to the drill tower as a captain too, as a drill master. And he's instrumental in the development of our future firefighters. His level of leadership has been implanted in every single one of the members who've gone through Drill Tower 81.
There is no doubt this is one of the reasons why he is being recognized as Firefighter of the Year, because of the effort, the contribution that he's done to make the LAFD better than it was the previous year, and so on and so on. His contribution to the LAFD has been phenomenal.
It's so exciting to finish out my career at the drill tower, training the next generation, essentially. I am so thankful to have had the career that I've had and now take that and then finish out my career and push the next generation forward.
When an all-hands situation unfolds, the city comes together at the Emergency Operations Center, where police and fire command work side by side, powered by real-time analysis, coordinated response, and centralized operations control. But true resilience goes beyond command centers. It depends on every resident being informed, prepared, and ready to step in when it matters most. That's where NotifyLA comes in. the city's free mass notification system, delivering critical alerts by phone, text, and email tailored to specific neighborhoods across Los Angeles. Together, these tools help build a stronger, more connected community, one where individuals are empowered to make a real difference. In the next segments, we'll explore how everyday actions, from reporting neighborhood concerns to using mobile alerts, play a vital role in protecting the well-being of every Angelino.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month.
Some of the examples of distracted driving are people on their cell phone. That's primarily the main thing. People having a pet in front of the car. And then sometimes people dealing with their kids in the back seat that distracts their driving. When I see someone putting on their makeup, eating food, my first intuition is to pull that individual over. That individual is obviously distracted, they're not paying attention, and the last thing I want is for that individual to spin out, lose control, and cause an accident.
Preventing distracted driving is incredibly important. It's not only important to the driver, but it's also important to everybody out on the road. Driving 100% safe requires 100% of a person's attention. Getting to where you're going safely is obviously everyone's top concern. So when you introduce distractions into the complicated task that is driving, it can get dangerous pretty quickly. We've seen some minor crashes, we've seen major crashes, we've seen injuries and even deaths as a result of distracted driving, which is why it's so important that we press this message out that distracting driving is dangerous and distracting driving can kill. A driver that is seen using their cell phone while driving can expect a citation, also potentially a day in court, maybe loss of money or even driving privileges depending on the circumstances. Our suggestion is to set up for the journey before you start that journey, right? Start your maps, get a good playlist together, set up your phone, leave it, and then just driving, keeping two hands on the wheel, keeping your eyes up on the road, avoiding breaking concentration to eat or talk or look at a billboard. That's going to be the safest way to get to where you're going.
To be a good driver, you have to prepare by planning. If you're gonna anticipate being late somewhere or you're gonna meet somebody, you need to make a phone call. Make that phone call prior to driving. We want you to stay focused on the road, hands on the wheel, and your eyes on the road.
The property behind me is a private residential property at 7779 Varna in the Valley Glen community. And this is an example of how a property owner allowed their property to fall in disrepair, become derelict over time, not respond to any questions or concerns either stemming out of the neighbors or from then city and government and agencies.
Council District 2 has known about this property for a while, and Councilmember Nazarian, they put in a resolution at council and gave the authority to the Board of Public Works to make that determination to make this property a nuisance, so then city staff and city crews could come in and abate any of the issues that were here, and we can clean this up for the community. So the Board of Public Works oversees all the Department of Public Works, so everything in your public right-of-way. So we work with the Department of Sanitation, Bureau of Street Services, and so they are here today to do all the cleaning, and then we'll work directly with the council office to make sure and see how we can keep this clean after the fact.
Dealing with this property has been horrible. There's ongoings of people coming all times of day or night, walking up, riding bicycles, driving cars to buy drugs. And they open the gate and you can see the drug activity. The immediate neighbors have still photos and videos of them cooking meth, smoking meth, bringing guns out, long AK-47s.
What we're gonna do is clean up. We've already asked the property owner multiple times to talk with us, and we've never been able to connect. The city has never been able to connect. So what we're gonna do at this point is clean up the property and submit the cost of that to the property owner and have them pay for it. If they don't pay for it, then the property itself becomes collateral for paying off those costs. And at that point, the city will figure out what the next steps are. I've asked my staff to keep a record. When I took office, we started keeping track and record of every rundown property, because that is the basis of communities falling apart. And I don't want to see that.
It's an honor to be here today to announce the launch of the Fund for Advancing Public Health LA.
Today was a very important day, I think, for Los Angeles County. We have a public health infrastructure and public health activities that are disappearing right in front of us. These are activities that keep all of us safe and healthy. Setting up a new foundation, a private, nonprofit foundation, allows us to broaden the tent of people who can help us support public health activities here in LA County.
For our Director of the Department of Public Health to realize that she needs to start a foundation to help shore up private and public funding for these services should be a sign that we all should figure out ways in which we should step up to the plate and guarantee access to healthcare services for everyone.
All of the work we do to protect ourselves and the people we love from communicable diseases, diseases like measles, the work we do on testing our water to make sure it's safe and clean, that work needs resources. And I think having a foundation step up and really fill in a void will allow us to bring more resources to the work.
Well, first of all, I think that the fund needs to be funded. There was a wonderful foundation here that has pledged the inaugural $150,000, and we heard from Dr. Ferrer that the goal is to have a $2 million fund. I asked her privately, do you have a path to get there? And she's pretty confident that she'll be able to raise it. But I think this is one tool in the overall toolkit about how we shore up and reinforce our public health infrastructure here in LA County.
You know what, I'm very careful about lending my name to anything, because a lot of times this comes back, but with Dr. Ferrer, she's pretty ace deuce, and when she talked to me, I said absolutely, and so I think that we can really do some good.
My urgent plea right now is understand how important public health is to the very vitality of our economy, to the livelihood of so many people who live and work here in the county, and get involved in being educated about public health efforts, and then by all means contribute to the fund.
The City and County of Los Angeles execute comprehensive, full-scale exercises that activate the Emergency Operations Center, rigorously testing interagency coordination and protocols to ensure seamless operational readiness. The city's commitment to community resilience extends beyond emergency coordination to the vibrant rhythms of daily life. From celebrating our rich musical heritage to honoring the vital bond between Angelino families and their animals, the city strives to foster connection and support in every corner of LA.
Hi, I'm Justin Kazerbadi. I'm here with LA Animal Services, and I'm here to talk with you about flea prevention, especially because of the recent report from LA County Public Health about typhus.
Typhus is a flea-borne disease. Fleas jump from pets and animals, and then can bite people, and then people can get sick.
So some early symptoms of typhus would be fever, nausea, headaches, rashes, and it may seem mild at first, but it can be pretty severe. Domestic pets get typhus from infected fleas, and the primary carriers of those infected fleas are neighboring wildlife. So rats, possums, raccoons, they carry them. And if we take our dogs for walks or let our cats out in the backyard, they become targets for those fleas. Typhus can be transmitted from our pets to us, and that's where the issues lie. So it's very important to make sure that our pets at home do not have fleas or ticks, because it can have long-term negative effects for us.
The way to prevent flea-borne typhus is cleaning up in our neighborhoods, making sure there's not garbage, there's not scraps. That's particularly where rodents are likely to go. Then those fleas will jump from the rodents onto people.
Flea prevention is a year-long thing. Flea medication is a must, and giving them warm, soapy baths. And if you notice they have fleas, make sure you vacuum your rooms, use pet-safe repellent. Clearing out the area in your home to prevent wildlife from nesting in the area, not leaving food out, especially pet food, making sure that your trash is sealed in your trash can. Just deter wildlife from hanging out near your home. Taking care of fleas is important, just not for typhus, but for your pet's well-being.
Our center was named after William Grant Still, who was a famous African-American composer. And so to honor his legacy, 18 years ago, we started the African-American Composer Series, where we honor one African-American composer each spring. And this exhibition, since its inception, has always included an arts education program that accompanies it, where we teach the students the work of that particular composer. This year's theme is Mystic Soil from the Roots of Reggie Andrews. He was a father, an educator, a musician, and a luminary. Reggie Andrews was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles, but not only that, he spent more than 40 years educating students at Locke High in Watts. So his reach in arts education is expansive, but he is also a prolific musician who has worked with artists such as Earth, Wind, and Fire. And some of his students have gone on to be famous as well, like Tyrese Gibson. He was the mentor to Patrice Rushen. Thundercat, Kamasi Washington, one of LA's most renowned saxophonists as well, was one of his students. When you visit this exhibition, you will see the most intimate display of Reggie's journals. You'll also see his awards and commendations from the city, and you'll get an intimate look at his family and his daughters. We have videos, clips of him performing. We have all of the artists that he has impacted as well, so there are albums on the wall. Reggie Andrews not only taught music, he taught character. And one of the things that he used to do is have his students sign a contract that they would bring the principles of music and practice and professionalism into other areas of their lives. And that is what we hope this exhibition inspires everyone to do.
Achieving true resilience across the city requires that every Angelino takes proactive preparation steps for themselves, their families, and their neighborhoods. Residents are encouraged to develop individual emergency plans, make safety preparations, and consult the emergency department's website to understand local expectations during an emergency. These tools and resources can help build stronger communities and empower individuals to make their own meaningful contributions. Our next segment highlights the story of an Angelino whose desire to support their Chinatown neighbors led to the innovative creation of a mobile laundry truck.
Today we're at Alpine Rec Center on National Laundry Day, celebrating the launch of a new laundry service here in Chinatown. One of the things that we have heard for years in Chinatown from residents, seniors, families, working folks, is that there is no public-facing laundromat in the entire community. And so what that has meant is that anybody who's trying to do their laundry has to use public transportation or drive outside of the community just to have that basic need met.
just recognized there was a big issue with homelessness, like we all see every day, and I wanted to get involved. So I started volunteering now 10 years ago, and I started volunteering down on Skid Row, which led me to volunteering with the Shower of Hope. And I was volunteering one day with the Shower of Hope, and I was the towel girl. So one day I'm handing out the towels, and I help this woman in, and she takes a shower, and she comes out so clean, you know, like how you feel so good when you just get out of the shower, totally transformed, and by being clean. And then I helped her put her dirty clothes back on. And so I was like, I think this is something we can solve for, you know, maybe I can build a truck with laundry machines on it. So we did. So we built our first one. We did laundry all around town for about a year, and then CD1 actually was our very first supporter and contract. So CD1 has been with us from the very beginning.
As of now, nearly 300 people have used the laundry truck. We're doing about 40 loads every day. They're here every Wednesday and every Thursday providing services. So yeah, the response has been surprisingly great.
We try to make it as simple as possible and remove any barriers. So you come in the morning, you know, right when we arrive here at 8 a.m. and you drop off your laundry and you just sign in. That's it. You don't have to give any information. You don't have to give anything personal. We just take your first name and we wash, dry, fold your clothes. And then at the end of the shift, we ask you to come back at the end and we hand it back to you. It's very simple.
It's about clean clothes, but it's about dignity, and it's about everybody being able to, within their own community, just down the street from their house, come in, have their clothes clean, have it folded, being treated with respect, and having that basic need that many of us take for granted.
Single moms that have kids and so many responsibilities, and they have to choose between food or laundry, you know, and so we're able to fill that gap and provide free laundry so that their kids can go to school with clean clothes. So we hear all the time how positive it is, and we hear just simple remarks like, being clean makes me feel human again, and people treat me differently when I have a clean t-shirt on in the grocery store. So it's a whole gamut of responses, but we know that we're making a big difference with this simple thing. If anybody wants to contribute or support the Laundry Truck LA, we accept volunteers, of course, and also donations. And again, you can find us at thelaundrytruckla.com or on social media. And we are always looking for support so we can continue to grow our impact.
Hey LA, check out these things to do. It's Open Firehouse Day around the city on May 9th. Every year, the second Saturday of May is designated as Fire Service Day in the city of LA. This is your chance to see inside the firehouse, meet your local firefighters, and celebrate all that these first responders do to keep the community safe. Almost every LAFD firehouse is open, and some will have additional firefighter tours and demonstrations, food, music, and family fun. LAFD neighborhood fire stations welcome you to their open firehouse celebration on Saturday, May 9th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. To find your nearest firehouse, check out lafd.org. On Saturday, May 9th, head to Point Fermin Lighthouse Gardens for Tea by the Sea. Enjoy a complimentary tea or coffee while you shop at the local craft and artist booths. A $5 donation is requested at the gate to benefit the Lighthouse Gardens. Tea by the Sea takes place on Saturday, May 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Learn more online at recreation.parks.lacity.gov. Celebrate Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month on Saturday, May 9th with a day of kites and rockets. Join Angels Gate Rec Center, Council District 15, and the Friendship Bell Foundation for this free celebration happening at the Friendship Bell Pavilion at Angels Gate Park. Head there for a day of fun on Saturday, May 9th, beginning at 9 a.m. and continuing to 3 p.m. Learn more on social media or by visiting Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council at cspnc.org. And that's a look at some things to do.
Los Angeles stands at the center of the global stage, from world-class entertainment, from iconic awards shows and major sporting events, to the energy of its own vibrant neighborhoods. And with the FIFA World Cup on the horizon this summer, followed by the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games, the city is ready, prepared to respond to critical incidents and protect its communities when the world is watching. But readiness starts with you. Through programs like RYLAN, Ready Your LA Neighborhood, and the LAFD's Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT, residents across the city are gaining the tools and training to step up when it counts. Together, these efforts strengthen a more resilient Los Angeles, one where every Angelino plays a role in keeping the city safe. One of the simplest steps you can take is registering for NotifyLA, the city's essential service for receiving critical emergency alerts right when they matter most. Thanks for watching. You can catch these stories and more on Channel 35 or at lacity.gov/TV. And be sure to follow at LA City on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Until next time, get out and experience everything Los Angeles has to offer.